tuning in. You're listening to ScareAdventRadio.org. Our one with us and we are in studio once again. With our guest, so let me get to show how to do it.
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Doing well. Glad to have you on the show with us today. Before we jump into our interview, as I always love to do, is give a couple of announcements here at the work it is that we are doing with Women in Business Expo Group. So we are in our fourth year with our youth entrepreneurship program coming up. We are currently working with the Department of Juvenile Justice. They're in Rome, Georgia. So this is a national program. It is that we do working with our youth and encouraging them, inspiring them, giving them the fundamentals on entrepreneurship. So we are in our fourth year with the Youth Entrepreneurship Program. For those of you that are out there that maybe want to volunteer your time, be a guest speaker, come on out, share your journey, your expertise with the kids. We would love to have you. If you are interested, you can email us at Women in Business Expo Group at yahoo.com. Also, I want to let y'all know the Women in Business Expo Group, we have been hosting our health and wealth workshop. And this has been an amazing time here. We are working on our third workshop, September 24th, 6 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. It is via Zoom, but come on out and join us. We are talking about the importance of our health, improving our immune system, having our homes be toxin free, and this is something it is that is near and dear to my heart. So I encourage you all, take a look at the website, register for this event. Again, that's September 24th. It's 6 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Seattle, Washington. It is via Zoom, so you can be anywhere and definitely attend. Bring a friend, come on out and have a great time and learn more about the importance of taking care of our health. So this afternoon today, we have Miss Monroe on the line with us, and we're going to be talking about health. And September is our health month here, where we love to shine a light on the importance of being a healthy business owner. So again, Miss Monroe, I want to thank you for taking the time with us this afternoon. Why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me. I truly appreciate you, Carmel.
Yeah.
Again, my name is Jamesia Monroe. I'm the CEO and founder of Kemunity Yoga. I have a business marketing and a master's in nutrition education. I'm a Kemetic Yoga Teacher and a Kemetic Energy Healer, and I'm just super grateful to be here. It's really important for me for my work to shine through me in the work that I do for the community to help lift the community. And that's one of the main reasons why I focus on the areas of my target audience when I was getting my master's degree in nutrition education. So I'm super grateful for the area of focus that I'm in. I'm a self-love advocate. So I'm all things health, wellness, and mind, body, spirit, and self-development.
Good. Tell our listeners, where are you from?
I am original. Well, I'm from New Jersey, from South Jersey, but I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So all the way from the East Coast, y'all, she's here with us, and we're glad to have you with us this afternoon too. Let our listeners know, now what was the influence or the inspiration behind you becoming a Kemetic healer, and kind of explain what that is.
Yes. So Kemet, if you are unfamiliar, the original name for Egypt, ancient Egypt, was Kemet, and it simply translates into the term the land of the black or the black land. So it was referring to the land and the people of the land. For those of you who don't know, ancient Egypt in Egypt is based in Africa. And so when you go to Kemet, I haven't had the privilege to go yet, but it is on my bucket list. But when you go to Kemet, or ancient Egypt, when you go inside of the pyramids, you'll see that they were practicing yoga on the walls. The reason why a lot of people are unfamiliar that ancient Egypt, ancient African yoga actually predates Indian yoga is because the word that they use for yoga is simatawi. So it's not the same because yoga is a transcript word.
Mhm.
So yes, so ancient Egypt is the basis of my company or my business. And so I just did a play off of that with naming my business Kemunity Yoga. As far as getting into the practice and becoming a Kemetic Energy Healer and yoga teacher, it simply started at a vegan restaurant. I was with a colleague of mine from college, and we were eating at a vegan restaurant, and someone came up to us And he said, hey, you all ever practiced yoga before? And it's something that I've always wanted to try, but it wasn't something that I did at that time. And so she was visiting from out of town, my friend, and so she didn't go, but I went to the class. And when I took the class, it was like something inside of me like woke up. I'm like, what is this? I don't know what it was, but it felt good. And so fast forward to like a week or a couple weeks later, the same guy reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to become a yoga teacher? I said, I don't even have a practice. So that typical yoga teacher path is they have a practice, they practice for a month or a couple years or so, and then they become a teacher. My path is not average. I went to a class and he asked me a couple times and I was like, well, I said, sure, why not? And so I did it. So I did not have a practice or anything, and I became certified in 2016. And from there, fast forward towards the pandemic,
Yeah.
I feel like during the pandemic, that's when a lot of people were awakening to themselves and they were just coming to many realizations. And so for me, it was a little bit post pandemic. I wanted to expand, but I knew that I wanted to stay in the Kemetic sciences and the healing arts, but I just didn't know, as far as what would that look like for me. And so I remember a spiritualist telling me like years prior to that I would do something with my hands. And so I was meditating on that. And I was like, I wonder if there's a Kemetic Reiki. And so I just Googled, like, that was the thought that came to my mind. Didn't know that it existed, but I just was like, I want to stay in the Kemetic sciences. So I Googled, and lo and behold, it existed. I said, wow. Like, I was like in disbelief because I'm just thrown, like, the idea just came, but I knew it was divine. It was a divine download. But for me, it blew my mind because I'm like, I do Kemetic yoga, but I want to expand and help people in a different way. So I found the Kemetic Reiki, also known as energy healing. For those of you who are unfamiliar, you use your hands, you use universal energy to help you. We say we heal, but technically we bring awareness to our clients so that they can heal themselves and so that they know what they are in need of, and then they can start taking the necessary actions to become well. And so, yeah, I started that journey in 2022.
Okay.
And so now that was always my goal, is to be known as, like, to be so niche and known to be a Kemetic yoga teacher and a Kemetic energy healer. So that's
Mhm.
kind of how my route went.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting too to know the backstory to how you become, a yoga teacher and then starting your own business and moving forward from there. Now, you mentioned that you had a master's degree. It sounds like in nutrition and some other backgrounds. There it is that you have acquired. Where did that interest come from? I mean, clearly, early on, you've had an interest in healing, nutrition, health. It sounds like.
Absolutely. So I've been like that. Like, since I was younger, I was always into health. Well, not younger. I wouldn't say, like, we were active. I come from like a very active family. So we played sports. So that was kind of like known, expected in the family in a way. However, when I got to college, I went to Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. And that's when I started to take my health like a lot more seriously. Like, I was always in the gym. I was, well, in the weight room at the time, and I was always working out and like being mindful of my health. I just deepened my health and wellness journey there. And subconsciously, if I could be transparent, I always had this fear of like health issues, like being overweight, or, I do come from a family where that is prevalent. And so I knew that I just wanted to take care of myself and my health, and to make sure that I don't have those health complications that I have seen a lot of my family members have. So, I was very intentional about it. And so, and then that's when, like, during my yoga certification, I went from vegetarian to vegan, and is just, my health journey has transformed.
Yes.
And the root cause of it is that I was actually dealing with heavy menstrual cycles. And so I had a cyst on my ovaries. So that's a whole journey within itself, and
Right.
we could be here for days. But for the most part, I have been intentional, and I've health and wellness has been a part of my life for a very, very long time. So, yeah.
Yes, yes. And I picked up on that as we were preparing for your interview. Uh, for the interview today, I said, I told my social media coordinator, I said, there's a backstory to this. You know, there's something it is that's definitely pushing her in this direction. And that's what it is that we want to hear, because that's the inspiration behind the work it is that you do today. So
Yes.
glad that you were able to share that with our listening audience. Let our listeners know, you know, what is the mission statement of your business? And you mentioned, I believe, when it was founded, but go ahead and give that information again.
So I help the Black and underserved community when it comes to my business, but for my personal brand, I do help Black women. Now I know that I call in all types of women, and I'm aware of that. However, my heart lies there because of what I dealt with and what I learned in school, is to help black women heal, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, and a lot that we do deal with in this country, in this nation. And also my personal story of eliminating cysts from my ovaries. And so that's my mission. So I have like two missions. I tell people I have two missions: to help Black and underserved communities, and to help Black women. So yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And you started the business when?
Oh, June 9th, 2018 is when I started Kemunity Yoga. And my
Awesome.
personal brand, that was like a few years ago. So I have two missions in this lifetime, but when it comes to business, in 2018.
Okay. Okay. So you've been doing the work here for a number of years now, and
Yeah.
definitely it sounds like doing a good job at it too. Now, let our listeners know just a little bit too. You currently reside in Georgia, but you do some traveling too. You and I have spoke. So
Yes.
you do kind of some traveling yoga too. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually just transitioned my business into a travel-based business. I'm still based in Atlanta, Georgia. However, we are going full throttle with traveling. So I just completed the first leg of my wellness tour. So I created a wellness tour called the Community Healing Experience. And that's where we're going into the community, and we're bringing healing, peace, relaxation to the communities, and educating them on like different ways how to be healthy and well. And so we just kicked off with the first three cities, which was Charlotte, North Carolina, Norfolk, Virginia, and Baltimore, Maryland. This isn't the first time we've done a mini tour like this. The first tour was a yoga pop-up shop, or like a yoga pop-up.
Mhm.
However, I felt called to expand into like a wellness tour where we offer more offerings. And so we just completed that, and the next leg will be starting next month in October. I'm super excited for that. So, you know, we're named Kemunity Yoga, and I just felt the transition to get into the community and get in the field and be on the ground with the people, connecting with the people. So, yeah.
Good, good. Yeah, and definitely a good way to get out and to spread the word and let others know about the work it is that you're doing, not only in your local community, but on a national level. It sounds like with you having the ability to do tours and be able to move around. So that's always good. You know, now you mentioned in your bio also too, it sounds like your passion is to serve women of color and or Black women. Do you help men at all?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So because it's like my work kind of intertwines, you know, I have a lot of gentlemen that follow me on my personal brand page as well, but on the Community Yoga page, they are there. They are there, and they are ready for the work and to do the work. So I have male clients and students I've had over the years. So I call in everyone, and I know that my specific type of energy is very unique and specific. So I know when people come to me, it's for a good reason. But yes, I do help men as well. So yeah.
Good, good. Let our listeners know too. I mean, we've talked about the yoga
Mhm.
and some of the help options it is that you offer. Tell a little bit more about the services it is that you offer. Um,
Yes.
and definitely the healing, the yoga, and is there anything else it is that others should know about your business, and then what services it is that you offer?
Absolutely, yes. So Kemetic Yoga that's what I offer online. So I just relaunched my virtual classes starting this month. So for all of September, I will be offering virtual classes. So that will be Kemetic Yoga. That's on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Meditations on Wednesday. So Wednesday meditations. And then released two new classes. One is the easy stretch class. I find that a lot of people are intimidated by the word like yoga, and then they see me do these complex poses and postures, and they are so intimidated, and they think that there's this misconception that you have to be flexible to be yoga. But no, that's why I'm the teacher. I'm here to help you become flexible in all the things. And so I felt as though I've been called to create an easy stretch class. I just came back from a cruise and they had that, and that was just a download that I received when I attended. I'm like, this will be great for people who may not quite want to do yoga, but they still need that stretch. So I created an easy stretch class where it's not necessarily yoga, but it's just stretching. And then I also created a mini wellness workshop, virtual workshop, where it's called a reset Sunday. So it's a Sunday reset where we come, we do like a 15-minute or 20-minute yoga session, a sound bowl, and then we set our intentions, do an intentional journaling setting for the week so that we can start the week on a positive note. And so those are the virtual offerings. I also have courses. If you're a little advanced and you're already familiar with the yoga space, I do offer a Kemetic chakra yoga course. And chakras are the energy centers. However, I educate you from the Kemetic perspective. So we know the terminology from, we know the chakras, but we call them the Aritu in the Kemetic space. And so we go through the different Aritus, and I educate you from the Kemetic space. And you also go through the different colors. So it's a pretty neat course. Every week you'll focus on your energy center, a specific energy center. And so week 1, you're wearing the color red. You're eating red, grounded food. You are listening to meditations. You're stating affirmations pertaining to that energy centers because you're essentially healing. So you're going through the weeks. It's a 7-week course that I have. I also offer, let's see what else, the workshops, the wellness workshops. If you are interested in that, you can actually email me. And for if you're interested in me hosting your organization or coming to your specific city, I can do that. I have a good amount of people who reached out to me. And so I'm excited because that will be for the October. So I have about 5 cities starting October that, have reached out to me and that I'm planning on working with. So I'm excited for that. And then let's see. So we have the courses, the classes, the meditations, and then the energy healing. And so that is the one-on-one high ticket offering. So if you would like to book me to fly out to you to offer an energy healing session, I could do that. Otherwise, I'm based in Atlanta. However, I'm pushing more of the traveling energy healing services versus the Atlanta because I'm traveling more. So
Yes.
yes. Mm-hmm.
For those of you that are just tuning in, you're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world. This is Women Empowerment Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Carmel Bias, and we are in the studio once again on a beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington, with our guest, Miss Monroe, all the way from Georgia on the East Coast there, and we're talking about health and healing and all the good things for our bodies, minds, and spirits. Now, you were discussing about your courses and workshops and everything like that. Where can those listeners find more information and details if they want to book you or learn more about your courses and workshops?
Yes. Before I answer that, I also forgot about the one biggest course program that I have. So this is a 4-week program. This is the Kemetic Chakra Juice Fast. So I do this every season. This is to transition into the season because we are connected to nature. So for us to flow with nature, we do a juice fast with the chakras. And so that way that you align yourself. I've been doing this for the past years, had phenomenal experiences. And this is the same fast that helped me eliminate the cyst from my ovaries. So that's how powerful it is. And so where you can find me is Kemunity Yoga, kemunity.yoga@gmail.com, or you can follow me on all socials, Kemunity Yoga. It's spelled KEMUNITY yoga. It's all one word. In every platform, you can find us there. So, and my name is Jamesia Monroe. I am the CEO and founder of Kemunity Yoga. And feel free to reach out. I also have a free gift for you, a free 15-minute Kemetic Yoga class on my social media page. So if you click the link tree, it should be the second link where you could just try out a Kemetic Yoga class for 15 to 20 minutes, I believe, just to get a feel of how everything goes.
Okay. Awesome. Great. For those of you that are interested out there in learning more about the work that Miss Monroe is doing, definitely want to connect with her. Sounds like you can for sure find her on all the social media platforms, or be able to reach her by email. So awesome. Awesome for that. Let our listeners know too. Now, you mentioned the courses and the workshops. Is there any other events it is that you have coming up? Maybe that's in another city that you want to talk about.
So as of now, we're still getting the logistics together for, so I don't want to like say it already like now, but if you just follow, like sign up for the newsletter on the Kemunity Yoga link tree so that you can stay up to date for the new cities that will be released. So we're hoping to announce them by next week, the next 4 or 5 cities that we'll be traveling to. But as far as what we have coming up next will be the wellness workshop. So stay tuned. And again, if you are in a specific city and you would love for us to come out, just feel free to email us at kemunity.yoga@gmail.com. So far, we are receiving phenomenal feedback about how the experience has gone. And so if that is something that you're interested in and you have an organization that would be interested in a wellness workshop, what we do is we offer yoga, we do a group discussion, a group journaling. So we'll journal and then we'll discuss our responses if we feel called to, if you feel led to. And then we do a sound bowl healing, and then we offer light refreshments or vegan meals, depending on what city. So yes, so this is a wonderful healing experience, and it's a safe space for you to be all of yourself, to release, to relax, and to just exist in your essence, because a lot of us don't have a safe space to be, just to exist.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just need to get away from the noise and reality and just be in community of like-minded individuals and just exist without defending yourself and having to explain the way that your essence is or your soul speaks. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. When you mention groups, is there a minimum and a maximum number that one should have?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you for that. I would say for a minimum 10 people, I am willing to travel for 10, and no max, but if there it had to be a max, I would say 25, no more than 30. But I am open to hosting more than one session in that city at different times, if that's something, or different dates, if that's something that you're interested in.
Yes, yes. Let our listeners know, because we're talking about healing here today and, just improving our health. How
Mhm.
does one's spirituality play a part in their healing? And this question, I wanted to ask you this, because there's many, it is, people it is that experience, let's say, fear,
Mhm.
bitterness,
Mhm.
jealousy, and you
Mhm.
have these negative, spirits, vibes, energy, it is that's going on. And I believe it makes it difficult for one to heal. But what are your thoughts on when it comes to spirituality? How important is that when it comes to healing?
Absolutely. That's everything. They're connected, So, and I love this question. When I saw, I was like, oh, this is a good one. So what I do as an energy healer is I'm scanning your energy centers. And so we are energy, and our energy centers are connected. They're also connected to different aspects of our lives. And so you mentioned fear. Fear is connected to what many people will know as your solar plexus, but we call it the ovarit. And so when that is out of balance, you are operating in a lower frequency or vibration. And so, as an energy healer, I can scan that so I can tell you what you can do. So, if someone is dealing with fear right now, what you can do is wear the color yellow. That's healing. Color therapy is what we do. You can work with yellow crystals like citrine. You can eat yellow foods like bananas. And the thing is, the way that spirituality and science all goes hand in hand when it comes to the energy centers, also known as the chakras, is that there's nature can help heal these things. Healing is not easy, where we all have something to heal from, and that's something that we will continuously go through until we leave this earth and take our last breath. And so, but we become stronger in the process. But when we become aware of ourselves, the spirituality is being aware of yourself. It's the ritual of the spirit. And so it's about harmonizing with your spirit, knowing thyself, knowing who you are, knowing when something is off, being in tune with yourself. Now, when
Mm.
you're in tune with this with yourself, you know that, okay, something's not right in my chest. You know, I have, but the doctor is telling you otherwise, but you know yourself because you're in tune with yourself. And so, as an energy healer, from a spiritual perspective, something's wrong with your chest, and that means that you're dealing with something with your heart chakra, or what we call your Kepra arit. And so you're either mourning, or you're grieving, or you may be giving too much of yourself. You're dishonoring your heart, you know. So from that perspective, so there's things that I can help you with to help you bring that back into alignment. So when you have that spiritual awareness, you have the awareness of the body, you know that the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual are connected. And so when one is out, we can look to the root of it from a spiritual perspective to figure out what's going on, because our health and wellness starts in the spiritual first, and then it manifests in the physical. So then we have the ailments, the aches, the pains, but really there's a spiritual, emotional root cause to that. So yeah. Yeah.
That's some good advice, y'all, and something definitely to consider too. Is that the spirituality part of our lives are connected, to our health, as Miss Monroe is saying here. So definitely something for us to take a look at. Let me ask you this: how does a yoga teacher and or healer deal with anxiety and depression? Now, because we hear a lot about mental illness. Is that in a different space, further? Is that in a different space other than, when it comes to maybe, as you mentioned, my leg hurts, muscle pain? How does one deal with that?
It's all the same. So that's why when I say mental, emotional, all of that is connected. So I love these questions. And so when it comes to that, now I'm not one to say I seek help, but there's things that you can do in addition to. It's like I personally have someone to help, like a therapist, and it's mainly for business, but it also helps with my mental as well. And so for someone who can speak on experiencing the things that you mentioned, because I feel like some of us experience it, if not all of us has experienced it, especially during the pandemic. So it's not something that we should run from, but you should have an understanding when it comes. And so grounding is so important. The way that you eat is all connected to the mental health. It can actually worsen it or help it, when you have the help. But anxiety, it means that you need to ground, and you're focusing, you're fearing the future. So doing grounding. So when you're experiencing anxiety, that means your root chakra, or also known as the Sefket Arit, is out of balance. And so doing the practices to help bring you back into balance, to ground you back into reality, and to become centered within yourself again, that is what the ritual of the spirit is needed at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely some great advice here. Yes. Monroe, I want to thank you again for your time this afternoon with us here on Women Empowerment Talk Radio. And I want to thank each and every listener out there for tuning in. Again, this is Carmel Baez with Women Empowerment Talk Radio. Until next time, y'all, take care.